All right. Seems like we're close to finishing this. This DLC isn't as long and admittedly not as fucking grating as Dead Money was. I fucking hate Dead Money. Whoops. Didn't even have my hand on the trigger that time, so I don't know what happened. Deagle. Not really, I'm still getting shot at. Run away. After I start winning, dickhead.
Is that all?
Where do I go? Oh. No. Right here? Where? Yeah.
I can't give you anything for that injury.
Yeah, well, I'm trying not to get injured. I'm not trying very hard, though. I'm standing right in fucking gunfire.
We're out of stim packs. Maybe you'd be better off with an auto.
I would be better off if they didn't keep spawning. That's what I'd be better off with.
We're out of stim packs. Maybe you'd be better off with an auto suit. We're out of stim packs. Maybe you'd be better off with an
Why do you
auto suit.
repeat this line, this particular line, so much? This big ass door? I can't see shit. Oh my fucking god. Let me out. Really? First off, a little bit of warning. Second off, what the fuck? Can't see shit. Oh, not that way. Fuck. Okay, clearly there's gotta be a way to kill this guy. Like, around there. Disable or destroy. Oh. Fucking god. It's fucking up my radiation level.
Go back to patrol, you piece of junk.
Expected more from that thing. Why am I over encumbered? Oh, wait. I know why. There we go. Still need more science. Another one? Yeah, I saw that count. Ooh, ammo. Thank you. Jet, okay. Or the rat scorpion? Now how the fuck do I get in there? What's this? Oh. Yeah. Up! Ah, right. Guardrails, people. They gotta be all around the area to be effective. Like this, and this isn't effective. Where's my brain? And spine. And heart.
Yo, hello there. You are there, aren't you? Forgive my confusion. So hard to tell these days. You seem familiar somehow. I'm guessing you're here for your brain, perhaps? It's just up
Preferably.
there. Such a nice brain, young, very bright. A little hard to see you. Can you walk into my left, right FOV cone? Ah, that's it. You're coming into focus nicely.
Is that better?
Depth perception is a problem with this old monitor of mine. Went black a while ago. That's old age for you. Should look at getting the visual nerves reattached. It's just that the right eye would see the wrong things. The flying tortoises were the worst. Would you care for a mentat?
He's the one. Thanks.
I love mentats.
He's the one
Delicious and
with the
smutty.
fuckload of
I have all
mentats.
sorts of amazingly science-erific thoughts and ideas when those chalky tablets are zipping through my biogel. I forget them all not long after, though, especially with the data constipating my memory core. Afraid binary streams might shoot out my chassis. Had to start using the dome floor and walls here to inscribe equations, although I've somewhat lost track of where they start and end.
Not exactly what I was expecting.
Really? That implies preconceived notions, theories, and a hypothesis about this meeting? Please extrapolate. What was I supposed to be like? After all, it might be worth a cognitive realignment if your theoretical Mobius is better than I.
Why did you steal my brain?
Oh, a variety of reasons. You're something of a homily. Anomaly? You're really quite special, and not in the cranially challenged way. You see, you are the most successful brain extraction experiment ever performed here at Big Mountain. A victim of your own success, as it were. If you were to go back with what your brain knows about the procedure, well, your brain could be popped back in and you could walk right out of here. Can't have brains moving around of their own volition.
You mean like y'all? I want my... Why is that a problem?
I'm not sure, except that I'm sure there's a very good reason for it. I have very good reasons for almost everything I do. Even if I forget them occasionally. Although I feel this one is especially important. Oh, well.
I'm curious about some things.
Oh, curiosity. I experience that less now that I know everything. Oh, maybe it was when I found out some unpleasant answers.
Can't repair mine, but if you're getting ghost perception, I can fix that.
The ghosts aren't real? That changes everything. Why, I can save my computing power for other perceptual impossibilities. Please be my guest. The receptor is there, and the side-switching wobbly bob, just turn that. Good, good, better. Oh, yes, that feels wonderful. This is even better than my afternoon mentats break.
Why broadcast threats to the think tank?
Oh, I was probably tripping hard on Psycho when I sent that. Had to work myself up to it. Not usually violent, except when I am. Then, watch out! So many chems, such varieties. Whenever I take mentats, I can feel my entire chassis breathe like a big spherical lung. As for the Psycho, sometimes get the chem dispositories in my tank all switched up. Go in the wrong tube. Still, served its purpose.
Why'd you steal my brain? Well, my brain so I can leave.
Now, that seems to be rather hormonal of you. Flight or fight response, you know. Hard to cut that out completely. Your brain is here, safe with me. We chat over mentats.
I need my brain back.
Do you? You seem fine without it. And does it even want to go back with you? Maybe you should ask it. It's quite independent, has all manner of opinions. Tell you what, I'll leave it up to your brain. If it wants to go, then fine. If not, well, you should respect its wishes.
Later.
Indeed. The goodbye part of our little chat, then.
Got another fucking level. Is this my brain?
Well, look who finally
That's
dragged
not my
themselves in out of
voice.
the wasteland. And where have we been?
I can't even see you.
Bits of radioactive muck again?
I'll be back later. Hold on.
Barring the unlikely event that I evolve some sort of rocket-propelled locomotion, I will be here.
Angry bone in my body. Animal removed.
There we go. There we go. I can see you now.
Ah, the meat has returned. Lovely.
You my brain?
Ah, lovely. Figured that out, have we? Would you like a cookie?
No, Stewie. You're a dick.
Well, that's a fine how do you do. Me, quote, dick, unquote. As if I'm the one responsible for the way you carry on gadding about the wastes. I'm not the one that makes you
Kinda are.
clamber around Technus-infested ancient vaults or go charging off to New Vegas on missions of ill-conceived revenge. And have we forgotten who got us shot in the head and buried in a shallow grave? Hmm? Do you think I enjoyed that little moment?
You're my brain.
I most certainly am not. I'm the seat of all reason and logic in our little partnership.
You've been hanging around these guys too much.
Feelings that motivate you, that sense of righteousness and that rush you get when you help someone. Do you know where those come from? Glands. They come from glands. Free of the tyranny of your ape-like and primitive endocrine system, I can see how foolish your motives are.
Of course I need. Or revisit this topic later.
Oh yeah.
I'll be back later. Maybe I do need a mentat. That'll help.
Ah, the meat. And you're an expert on your own gland. Fun? Fun? Is tetanus fun? The things you do with our body are suicidally dangerous, and if you could silence your glandular impulses, you would hear me screaming at you!
How the hell did Mobius get a hold of my brain?
After the think tank extracted me from your skull, they fell to bickering amongst themselves. I'm sad to say we were quite forgotten about. Dr. Mobius saw an opportunity to gain some leverage and had me spirited away to his dome.
How did he manage that?
I don't know. I'm afraid the trauma of our separation rendered me quite insensate. I didn't come around until I was safely ensconced in this tank. I'm quite sure whatever he did was highly scientific, though.
Seems like a pretty unlikely coincidence.
Hardly. Dr. Mobius keeps a close optical sensor on the goings-on at the think tank. As soon as he saw the opportunity, he took it.
Well, that answers that on something else.
Well, as long as your curiosity is satisfied.
Don't you want to be reunited? I thought you'd be happy to go back in my head.
I'm not going to lie to you. The prospect is definitely not that appealing. Look at it from my perspective. Here I have peace, quiet, and safety. Well, barring the odd rogue scorpion. In your head, I've got poison, radiation, grisly injuries, and
I don't think we've been poisoned that much.
biological functions. Do you know how much more you can get done when you're not constantly looking for places to urinate? It's quite a lot, I can tell you.
Constant. Smell of food.
Overrated biological feedback.
Bullshit, you are not my
only
brain.
feel that way because you've got all that meat, oozing hormones.
Fuck. Alright, hang on. Take another mentat. Take that. Take that. Take another one.
Ah, the meat.
It's just as true that you only feel this way because you're lacking those hormones.
I suppose you're right. That does call certain assumptions into question, doesn't it?
We're at an impasse. You can't feel what I feel, and I can't think the way you think.
Indeed. Quite the conundrum. How do you suppose we resolve it?
We have to trust each other, and also that we aren't complete if we're separated.
I suppose there might be some advantage to that, yes. There's a chance that the reintegration would create some improved synergy between us.
Join me?
Well, I suppose you've convinced me well enough. I'll rejoin your body if that's your final decision. Unfortunately, before we get to that stage of the proceedings, we have a problem. Even if I could settle myself back in your skull and reconnect all those pesky nerve endings, Dr. Mobius doesn't have the tools here. We would have to make use of Dr. Klein's lab, and I rather doubt the brains are inclined to share.
I suppose once they did. Yeah.
And you believe them? Really? I know you were recently deprived of my fabulous advice, but... Really? Once I'm delivered into their clutches, they'll find a way past the radar fence and the whole Mojave will be their playground. And that is assuming, of course, that one of them doesn't take a fancy to our body and decide to slip his own brain into it instead.
And you don't want to let that happen any more than I do.
Well, I suppose I do miss those endorphin rushes when we save the day. All right, what's the plan?
Think tank won't hold their bargain. We'll make them. Let's go.
Right. Look out, think tank. This brain is coming out of its jar. I suppose now that we're reunited, you'll want to fill your torso up with those other meaty parts the think tank took from us. Personally, I think your upgrades are quite a bit better. But now that I'm with you, the Sync's autodock can plug them back in no problem.
Kinda fine with my spine.
Then, off we go. Klein will be in for a nasty shock when he realizes the pacification field won't work on a mind and body reunited.
All right. Want that? Probably just a normal layer, but I want it. Okay. Oh. Oh. I don't want to pick it. I don't care that much. Oh, fucking bitch. Hey, dickhead.
The lobotomite returns. Our lobotomite. Has Dr. Mobius been denominated into scrap metal and voice module parts, as we hoped?
Got my brain. Now you and I get
I
selfies.
recommend watching your tone with me.
I get to kill
lobotomite.
this guy? Great.
Now, your brain. Hand it over, or we'll extract it again.
I mean, there's some things we should discuss.
And what could we possibly have to speak about? You have the brain, we have the technology. All you must do is surrender. With it, we can finally leave this place. I cannot tell you how boring this place gets, chopping up the landscape and everything in it. And we have so many questions to ask your brain first. About
The brain of Morbius?
That is the most insane thing I've ever heard. There's no way Mobius would condescend to step inside you. Besides, there's no way such a thing could be accomplished. It's impossible.
Fuck.
A fight? I've never been in a fight. What do I... Ah! Colleagues! Think tank! Alert! Alert! We are under attack! The lobotomite!
Uh-oh. Well. I guess the horny one has to die too. That's unfortunate. Well, brain, I'm gonna tell you right now, this ain't gonna work out that well.
I regret.
Firing brainial beams and my spectral ray of deception lasers.
What is...
Ah, well. I wonder if there's a way I can, like, do this non-lethally. I still want to kill Klein. But not everyone else. I don't really give a shit about everyone else. Klein just pissed me off in the beginning. Hang on, wait. The hell is this? Oh, okay. Wait a minute.
You should really see. Oh.
Yeah, I don't care. Okay.
The lobotomite. Yeah. You are lying. No. Why would you reason with that?
Can't let you dissect Mojave or let you leave.
Yes, you can. You don't really...
Dr. Klein, I must intercept.
Oh, here we go.
Please, do not harm the lobotomite.
I'm not going to harm it. I'm going to dissect it until it's dead. Why the sudden intersection, Dollar?
I cannot stand a sweet breathing organism, breathing in and out to suddenly not breathe. We must keep it alive. For study. Slow study.
Yala, these vocalized pauses are unlike you. What do you care?
Fine. Are you sure we've calculated all the combat probabilities here? I mean, the lobotomite confronted Mobius. Plus, you know, we haven't had a COMBAT drill in forever. I don't think we could form a tactical attack triangle if we wanted to.
Releasing the WOMBAT was not my plan, so get off my voice box.
Silencing opinionators.
Why am I even listening to you fools? The Determinators are...
Okay.
We are bigger, smarter, and
Bigger?
floatier than you, lobotomites. We don't...
Okay. Oh, he's gone. That was fast. I guess not. Alright. Well, that's unfortunate. Fuck you, Klein. Where did Della go? I think she exploded. There's Boris, Klein. Nope, here's Della. Somewhere. She had a teddy bear on her. That sucks. Now what? Now I just go back to what's his name?
As it had been in the years before the Great War, Big Mountain, the Big Empty, became home to one of the brightest minds of the 23rd century. The Courier watched over the Big Empty for years to come, caring for it and keeping its discoveries safe until they were needed to help others.
Used.
Which had always been Big Mountain's purpose. Past the laboratories and science, it had always been intended as a place to build the future of all mankind.
The Courier had scoured much of the Big Empty, although secrets still remained in the crater's depths. Perhaps that was for the best, however. Curiosity, while sometimes rewarded for its efforts, often proves to be equally dangerous.
Dr. Mobius continued his research undisturbed in the Forbidden Zone. As much as he had attempted to create better scorpions, he tried the same with humanity, with considerably less success. These failures didn't bother him overmuch. Once the rush of mentats wore off, he forgot he had failed in any event. After all, the bright young mind who had come to visit him in the Forbidden Zone had already exceeded his expectations.
The sink atop the dome bustled with the voices of a small town, constantly chirping, arguing, and snarling at each other. Still, this all happened productively in the interests of its new owner. The Sync Central Intelligence Unit discovered, despite its inversion code, it was comforted by the sense of community the other personalities gave it.
The Biological Research Station, obsessed with seeding everything in sight, requested a transfer to the X-22 Botanical Garden, so that it might, in its own words, sensually fertilize the garden's smooth contours. The garden sent back a polite refusal. saying it had prior commitments with a vault it had helped infect before the war.
Of course.
The book chute continued to devour all seditious materials until it nearly choked on a paperclip. It adamantly maintained it was a Chinese paperclip, and the whole thing had been an elaborately orchestrated assassination attempt. Whatever the reason, it slowed down for a while, carefully appraising each document and clipboard that came to it.
The light switches continued to bicker and flicker.
This persisted until the day someone dropped a flashlight in the sink, and the two of them united in their hatred of the showboat.
The thing continued to ruthlessly scrub any particulate matter that came near it. Eventually, it gained access to the magneto-hydraulics plant and nearly flooded all the big empty in an attempt to scrub the crater clean. Once it learned of the innovative toxins plant, however, it gained new purpose. It sought to develop antitoxins to flush into its drains and counteract the poisons bleeding into the soil.
The toaster continued its psychotic spree, reducing all appliances in range to scrap electronics and spare parts. After one of its more psychotic episodes, however, the other Sync personalities decided enough was enough and dumped the toaster in a bathtub. Sparking and hissing, the toaster swore its enemies would rue the day when they had bread and no way to toast it.
Muggy did his best to collect coffee cups, although in his quest, he accidentally trapped himself in Higgs Village. It might have been the end for poor Muggy. Except, he found it peaceful there, tidying up the kitchens of the think tank professors back when they had been flesh and bone. Well, except for Dr. O, who was an asshole for having created Muggy in the first place. Muggy left O's house deliberately dirty, punishing the dishes and cups that lived there in blind revenge for serving Dr. O.
Blind Dio Jefferson eventually discovered a new sound. Silence. It only made him more filled with the blues than before. It was rumored by the other personalities that he had a brief fling with the light switches.
How does any of this work? How do they move?
No, he forgot.
How'd they dump the toaster?
Much too often and was soon left in the dark as punishment.
Autodoc, always gentle and methodical, kept sewing up the courier in all the right places when the skin split open from repeated wear and tear. The Autodoc was just glad to have purpose again. It heard its simpler brothers and sisters who got shipped to the Sierra Madre bored out of their skulls in that toxic dead city.
Fuck that place.
In time, the Autodoc found a way to deactivate the Y-17 trauma harnesses, releasing the corpses they had held prisoner for almost 200 years.
Oh, that's nice.
As the courier made his way through the X8 facility, the computers analyzed the test subject's movements. They eventually created new cyberdogs to root out commie traitors from the Wasteland. Traitors like Betsy Bright, Richie Marcus. Although they couldn't seem to find any commies, so they turned on themselves, howling sonic barks that echoed miles across the landscape.
The infiltration program in X-13 felt spent, having repeatedly upgraded the stealth suit until it could upgrade it no more. It felt warm, fulfilled, and a bit sluggish. It realized not long after, the stealth suit had left it, without so much as a note on the nightstand. So the infiltration program sent out robo-brains into the wastes, looking for its wayward technology. It eventually found Repcon HQ, and set up a new research center, testing and murdering fiends who kept breaking into the facility.
The courier, organs intact, continued onwards, a little less heavy of step, but with all the organs in the right places, as they should be.
I have my brain back?
After all, brains can develop a life of their own when left to their own thoughts, and the courier's brain was more clever than most.
The think tank basement, filled with the lobotomized robotical frames of the doctors, now served as a graveyard. The monitors had recorded the battle in its entirety, including the think tank's final, shrill, terrified screams, whimpers, and pleas for mercy. They broadcast these humiliating last moments as a warning to anyone approaching the perimeter that other smarty pants were not welcome. The courier was the inheritor of the Big Empty, and there was room for only one will in the halls of the think tank dome.
There is an expression in the Wasteland, old world blues.
It refers to those so obsessed with the past they can't see the present, much less the future, for what it is.
They stare into the what was, eyes like pilot lights, guttering and spent, as the realities of their world continue on around them.
Science is a long, steady progression into the future. What may seem a sudden event often isn't felt for years, even centuries to come.
In the times following the Second Battle of Hoover Dam, however, old world blues took on a new meaning.
Where once it was viewed as a form of sadness, nostalgia, it became an expression describing the potential for the future.
It can be easy to see science as evil, technology unchecked as the source of all ills, all misfortunes.
With the courier at the helm, science became a beacon for the future. There was old world blues, and new world hope. And hope ruled the day at Big Mountain.
We could say more, but the stories in the Big Empty speak for themselves. Now armed with the transportal Ponder, the courier could return to the dome at any time and crack open the secrets of the Big Empty one by one. The sink sat vigilant, waiting for its master to return, shoes covered in Mojave dust. Only one road yet remained, and it was one the courier had to walk alone.
Oh. You've lost the brainless perk. You have gained the big brain perk. But some of the advanced technologies remain. Your head still cannot be crippled, but you are only 10% more resistant to chems now. Surprisingly, your damage threshold has improved. Alright, big. Okay. The fuck?
You outbrained the big brains? That is so hot.
Okay. No one has anything else to say? Muggy?
Please, please, please tell me you stomped Dr. O's brain into a fine paste. Did he squeal? Did he beg? Who's the flat?
Yeah, nothing I could talk to him about after that. Alright. Can I leave now? How do I leave?
Might I be safe in the assumption that matters with the think tank have been satisfied?
Now for real, how the fuck do I leave? It's not an aid. Hang on. Big Mountain Transponder. Oh. Oh. Oh, okay. Ah. Okay, this thing looks funky. That was Old World Blues. I actually enjoyed this DLC. Despite Klein's fucking spiel in the beginning. That was horrible. That's not the way you start DLC. But I actually enjoyed it. Burn Man walks, Joshua Graham lives. Hey, look, foreshadowing. Yeah, when we do come back next, we will probably do Honest Hearts and then The Divide. I did look into it while it was playing the ending scene, that there is a way to do this completely peacefully, but it involves a fuck ton of skill checks with a fuck ton of medicine and science checks, or to complete a extra what's the word? Side quest with one of the guys, the little think tank professors, which unfortunately we didn't do, and we didn't have the skills for skill checks, even if we were buffed up, which sucks because I kind of wanted to keep them alive. Maybe not Dr. Klein, but everyone else I had no beef with. Oh yeah, we before we end it, I definitely want to see where Edie is. Oh, she is here. Okay. Thank God. I did not want to have to do the whole fucking rigmarole through Megaton and then all that. But yeah, I really didn't like the beginning of that DLC, just being talking constantly and feeling like I was getting nowhere. That was the big point. I was talking and feeling like I was getting nowhere with the talking. But yes, when we come back to this, we will start how do I gun runners? Actually, we'll probably get a bit of time. We'll make our way there while I gather my thoughts about this. Well, when we come back next time, we will start Honest Roads, or Lonesome, it's not Lonesome Road, Honest Hearts, the one DLC I did play when I played through this game a long fucking time ago, and I remember not really liking this DLC a whole lot. Like, I found it incredibly boring and tedious, which doesn't bode well for how I'm going to feel about it this time. I do know it has Joshua Graham, which is considered one of the best NPCs, or at the very least he has his fans. There we go. I also know Joshua Graham originally in Van Buren was meant to be really fucking good in when Fallout 3, the original Fallout 3, for those who don't know what Van Buren is, it is the original Fallout 3, which, or was going to be the original Fallout 3 when Interplay was still making it, which New Vegas takes a lot of the ideas and like ideas and themes from that were going to be in Van Buren and kind of transplants them over, or sometimes just take place directly after them. There's parts of New Vegas that, as to my understanding, take place as if Van Buren happened already, like, and you played through it, or maybe not played through it, but as if it happened already. Joshua Graham, he was basically really good at combat in that game, but fucked you in terms of like standing with a lot of places and reputation. So basically you were fucked if you wanted to take any diplomatic approach. It was always going to be combat. It's actually a pretty interesting approach. To companions. I don't know. I really want to see another classic style Fallout someday. Maybe like, maybe Larian. I could see Larian making a Fallout game. That'd be great. Is it up here? If not Larian, somebody. I would love to see a classic Fallout. I really want to see a Fallout in Texas. The sun is killing me. Follow that rock. You have a shovel. Alright, well, here we are. Alright, so when we... That guy has a vault suit. There's Eddie. Whatever. So when we come back next time, we will definitely do this. Actually, hold on. Can I make you go Lucky 38? There we go. But yeah, when we come back next time, we'll talk to this guy. Start Honest Hearts, I think is what it's called. Then finish this up and then do Lonesome Road, I think, which is the last DLC. And culminates all this. And then we will probably mop up the game because I kind of want to finish this game before we run into more glitches.
Don't ask, cause I don't know.
So we'll start to like do that. It'll probably take us quite a while, but yeah. I hope y'all enjoyed. I am tired. I still have a headache. I will see y'all later.